Could it be? Is it an update without a skin? Oh my god, it is! Okay, hello guys. This is gonna be a off-script first impressions of these 4 new augments, because holy shit, I have something that I can talk about now! And I know that everyone on, like, the whole content creating side of things is doing this, but can you blame them? It's the first thing that we can talk about in ages! And yeah, I'm gonna hop on this. So, these are the 4 new augments. Mesa Waltz, Reaping Chakram, Concentrated Arrow, and Energy Transfer. I think I'll start off with Mesa Waltz, because I've heard mixed things about it, and I don't really play Mesa all that often, but I can tell you one thing. I know what makes her good. What? Yeah, okay. So I went ahead and ranked up all of the augments, so here it is. This is Mesa's Waltz. Mesa can move at 50% speed while using Peacemaker. I don't think that this is going to be worth it. Mainly because it's just, she can carry her momentum in mid-air from a jump, right? And it's just, I will say this though, because it is a movement augment, you can actually put it in Excellent slot, but I don't have a tomato to open this up. So I'm just gonna equip normally. Again, I've heard mixed things about this, because I don't know if 50% movement speed is worth anything on Mesa, but we'll figure something out. Okay, let's see how this augment works. You know, I gotta say, I thought 50% would be faster than this, but I did hear that it's more than just movement. I heard that the crosshair will also expand in the middle of the walk. Well, they weren't lying, but I was expecting something more. Like, okay, so you can either wait for the reticle to expand all the way back so you can actually, you know, shoot stuff again, or, and hear me out here, you can just do this. Yeah, and yeah, I know that costs extra energy to do, but at the same time, the thing about energy is that it's a resource that you balance with time. It's like you have to choose between whether you value your energy or your time. And let me tell you, if I was sitting here just waiting for this reticle to go back to its maximum range, yeah, I would not be doing that, because how much does it take to get into Peacemaker? It costs, like, I think, like 10 energy or something? Yeah, something like 10 energy, so, Mesa's Waltz could use some improvement. I don't know what they would do, but yeah, when you can just jump to fling yourself into the direction of an enemy, there's no point in using this augment. I will say this, though, because it can be fit on Excella slots, there might not be any reason to not use this augment, because, yeah, you could use something like a Power Drift or, what's the other one? The one that improves your range. So, to help with the reticle, you could use those. But yeah, if this thing didn't go on Excella slots, there would be practically no reason to use this, I think. It looks cool, though. We'll go ahead and take this into a mission for a bit and see how it performs there. Oh, I will say this, though. Being able to roll, I didn't notice until just now. Being able to roll, that actually helps quite a bit. You know, when you don't get stuck on shit, but... well, yeah. Being able to roll is pretty nice, but again, if the reticle expanded just a bit more, I think this would be more usable. But yeah, you could just do that. And I think another problem with this augment in general is that when you're playing Mesa in a lot of cases, you're having Peacemaker active for only a brief second at a time, because things just get melted by it. Now, this is an exception, or defense rather, isn't. What the fuck are you doing up there?
Send help, please send help, Daddy, and will be mad at me.
You alright up there? Hang on a minute, mate, I'm not... Yeah, okay. Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, the main exception is in missions like Defense, where she would have it activated more often. But in most cases, you just activate and clear out a small mob like that, and then you're done, and you just get out of it. There's no reason to walk in it. It would help if she had full range of movement. Now, of course, there could be some downsides, because her 4 is absolutely amazing. I think it's the highest, it has the highest DPS out of all, I guess, room-clearing abilities, like Equinox's 4, Saren's 4, Ash's 4. I think Mesa can put out the most DPS, so obviously there would have to be some kind of downside. But as it stands, there's no reason to not just use aerial momentum to fling yourself forward. So yeah, I guess that's my I guess that's all I have to say about Mesa's augment. It's cool, it is, but I don't know if it's worth a mod slot. It helps that it's an augment, or it's an Exilus slot augment. But then again, I kind of wish that all augments were in the Xmas slot, but whatever. Alright, so we are moving on to Farah, and Farah's is the one that I've been most interested in. This is Concentrated Arrow. It is an augment for her 4, and basically it fires a single arrow that, on headshot, has a 50% crit chance and explodes in a 7-meter radius, but it removes punch through. To be honest, I thought that this is what I always thought her Artemis bow should have been, because I never really liked how her 4 originally has worked in the past, because it's a spread shot, meaning you have to get as close as possible to do the most damage, and that just didn't make sense to me. She's supposed to be a long-range hunter. But this actually makes a lot of sense, because it fires a single but extremely strong arrow, and it rewards you when you land headshots, and that's kind of her entire thing. She gets bonuses on damage when she headshots an enemy in Prowl. She has Navigator, which makes it easier to adjust your arrow to hit headshots. She is all about headshots, so I think that this could be very, very good depending on a number of factors. First off, is that 7-meter radius affected by power strength, or my bad, power range? And is that 50% critical chance boost additive or multiplicative? Okay, so let's go ahead and see how this looks before we actually start killing stuff. Yeah, it looks about as what I was expecting it to do. I don't know why the spread crosshair is still there. Probably they just forgot to remove it or didn't have time. But yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and spawn some, let's say level 100 heavy gunners, and see how much damage this normally does. I should mention, by the way, before we get into this, I should mention that I'm using my Artemis bow build here, 180 power strength and not counting the energy conversion. Not the perfect build. I wish I had more energy efficiency on it, but I just don't have the formal honor to do that yet. But yeah, this is the build that I'm using, if you want to copy it or whatever. Oh, okay! Oh, okay, that's actually really good. And honestly, the damage could probably be better, and wow. It's doing pretty decent damage even through armor. And the thing is that I'm not even using something like Prowl yet. If you didn't know, Prowl actually gives you more headshot damage. So let's go ahead and try it now. Yeah, that's really, really good. Damn. Of course, you have to be able to land headshots and stuff, but yeah, I'm actually really impressed. Again, I was not really that much of a fan of her original Artemis bow. Yeah, look at that. Damage is kind of random because that guy. Yeah, that was pretty low. I'm not sure why. But for the most part, this is actually really, really good. Like I was saying before, I was not really a fan of her 4 originally just because it didn't make sense to me. It didn't have any major long-range capabilities. But not only does this reward you with headshots and going for single targets, but because of the explosion, it can also be used to clear out trash mobs, I'm pretty sure. I know this isn't the highest level you can get to with enemies, like level 100, but I'm not the kind of person that does like 2-hour survivals, so most enemies that I'm going to be facing are level 80, not even level 100, because I mainly consider Kuva Floods and Sorties to be endgame levels for me. So this is actually really, really good. One thing that I want to see is, does the explosion do self-damage? And regardless of the result, I'm going to be upset. Because if it does do self-damage, I'm gonna be like, no, why? But if it doesn't do self-damage, I'm gonna be like, why is this the exception? And it doesn't. Okay. DE, what? What are you? I don't understand you. What makes even less sense is that this is something that you're not going to be firing that close. You're going to be about this range. What the f- Oh, my cat. Okay, I was about to say, why did I get a red crit there? Let's go into Prowl here. Oh my god! That's insane! Look at that damage. I wonder how bad, or I wonder how badly we could nuke enemies with like a max charged navigator. Since I don't have energy conversion up at the moment, I'm only getting 9 times damage, but... Oh my god! Yeah, they, in my opinion, they did a really good job with the Artemis Bow augment. And so far, I think it's my favorite out of all the augments thus far. We still have 2 more left to go, but yeah, that's Evaro's. It doesn't do self-damage, it has really high damage output. You don't have to be up close and personal. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if the original Artemis Bow without the augment, I wouldn't be surprised if it could deal more damage if you hit all the arrows, but that's a mighty big if, because it's a widespread thing. It's not really suited for headshot damage. Before we move on, I want to see if Hunter's Munitions works with this, because if it does, oh man, that just makes things even better, because typically Hunter Munitions, can make things melt even faster if you know what to replace. I'm gonna go ahead and, for the time being, I'm gonna remove Speed Trigger. And where is our Hunter Munitions? Where are you? There you are. Okay, let's go into Prowl here. Hopefully this isn't just outright kill them. I want to see if okay, well he died. That's not what I want. Well, it does work. Ooh, Slash Procs. They're not as strong as what they could be, but it does work. Slash Procs from Hunter Munitions does work on this thing. Yeah, if you're an Evara fan and you wanted to make a build specifically for like killing stuff, probably pick up this augment, because I think it's a lot easier to use than R4. Of course, you have to hit headshots, mind you, but it's honestly not that difficult to hit headshots in this game. The worst problem, or the biggest issue with getting headshots, is with enemies that have like plating on their backs that block the head from behind. Like, these guys have it, so it can be difficult to get headshots from behind on enemies like this. But other than that, it's pretty easy to get headshots in this game. So, if you're a fan of Evara and you like killing stuff, definitely pick up this augment. I recommend it. It's probably my favorite of the bundle so far. But let's move on to Naja, shall we? Okay, so this is Naja's augment. This is Reaping Chakram. The Chakram will now fly through enemies, and each enemy hit increases its damage and healing by 2 times. I'm not sure about this, because, well, for one, I'm not using exactly a good build for it, but we'll mess around with Power Strength later on. But for now, Reaping, or rather, Blazing Chakram has never really been great at damage to begin with, and I don't know if it's worth boosting the damage by 2 times every hit. It could be. I'm obviously going to check it out now. But yeah, and the healing, if I can, like, the thing about healing is that health pools typically aren't gigantic unless you're playing Inaros, and even Nidus's isn't that great. So, in most cases, I would believe that Blazing Chakram would be able to automatically heal you up to full, even without an augment like this. I could be completely wrong. I do not touch Naja's Blazing Chakram at all when I play him. I'm usually playing a Safeguard Naja who throws rings on people, and that's honestly how I play Naja. I'm not sure how to feel about this. We'll give it a test, and I don't think this is going to be good on armored enemies, or not armored enemies, rather, heavy units like heavy gunners. So instead, I'm going to cut Naja some slack, and we're going to be testing this on level 80 Lancers, because I feel that's a good test of its in-game potential and shit like Floods and Sorties. So let's give this a shot. Let me go ahead and... Holy shit, I forgot he's so slippery! Oh my god! I forgot he was so slippery. Okay, so here are our enemies, and just keep in mind that this build only has 115 power strength, but it is above average power strength, so I just want to see how well this does. Actually, these are level 100s, but let's give it a shot anyways. Yeah, it's, it could be better. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Again, I wasn't really expecting great damage from this in the first place. But yeah, kind of lackluster here. I think, oh my god, I forgot. No! But yeah, let's go ahead and put these guys down to level 80, because that's originally what I was supposed to set them at. And again, I know this isn't like a fair test, because I'm only using 115 power strength. We will try more power strength. It's just that for now, I want to see how an average build would work. Right, so here we go again. What? What? Excuse me? Okay, does anyone want to explain why I'm hitting zeros and dealing 1 tick of fire damage? And now it's stopped? Okay, I'm not going to question that anymore, but I am very confused. Let me go ahead and try a power strength build. Maybe 180 power strength with energy conversion or something. Let me see how that works out. Okay, so here we go. This is a 180% power strength with energy conversion, so it's more like 230% power strength. Let's give this a shot and see if it does any better against level 80s. I don't know what caused him to be damaged or okay, I'm very confused. Yeah, something just... Oh, no, it was the healing burst. So yeah, every so often, I am getting, like, a decent damage numbers out of this. But it's very finicky, I've noticed. I don't know, I don't think this is really worth a mod slot, because if you're going to be using Naja, most likely you're going to be using either a Safeguard Naja or a Divine Spears Naja, or both. And yeah, I don't think it's worth using his 2 at the moment, even with this augment. But yeah, that is Reaping Chakram. Let's move on to Equinox. Cannot fashion frame this thing at all. But let's go ahead and check out her augment. So, this is her augment. Interesting story with Equinox is that her 4 augment was originally different. I can't exactly remember what it did exactly, but I believe they got rid of it because it was too strong. Because Rebecca didn't mention it directly, but in one of the latest Prime Times, I think it was, she was talking about it, and she was trying to be so vague as to why they changed it, and it was just really hilarious to watch. But this is the new augment. It is called Energy Transfer, and basically 100% of the charge from Mend and Maim is conserved when switching between forms. So this is actually a very big game changer for Equinox, I think. Because with Equinox, a big problem is that you spend a lot of time just using Maim. Like, that is kind of Equinox's thing. I think she could be fantastic as a all-around jack-of-all-trades frame. She's just so close to being a good jack-of-all-trades frame, but instead, she's always reliant on Maim. And yeah, this is a Mend and Maim augment, but because it conserves charges when you switch between forms, I think this could result in, looser playstyles, where, you know, you can have Mend and Maim active at all times, and you can use other abilities without worrying about losing the charge. So yeah, let's give this a shot. I'll place it over Duality and see how this goes. Actually, hang on a minute. I just noticed I'm using 34% range on this build, so let me throw something else together real quick. Let's go ahead and spawn some enemies. Alright, so let's activate 4, and let's build up a charge, shall we? Okay, so I have a 59.5k charge, and now let's switch to Night Form. Yep, okay, so... yeah, so you do keep the number with the different version of her 4. So I could pop 4 right now and heal everything. That's actually really good. And like I said, since you can maintain the charge, you can use other abilities now. You're not just... like, you're not reliant on staying in day form and nothing else, so you could actually use her other abilities. Like, that's really good. So, you know, you can go into day or night form rather and do some CC if you need to. And what's her 3? I forget what her 3 is. I think it's like an area of effect. I'm not sure what it does. Hang on a minute, let me go check. In night form, reduce damage inflicted by nearby enemies. In day form, increase ability strength from nearby allies. Okay, yeah, so This is actually pretty damn cool. Yeah, this is pretty damn cool because her best CC is in night form. So, to be able to keep your charge, your damage charge, and, you know, be able to go into day form, or night form rather, and use her CC, that's really, really good. So I think this makes Equinox less of a one-trick pony. So, you know, now she can keep her charge and she can go around CCing stuff. Let me go back into day form. And what the hell just happened? Oh, right. Wait, what? What? Are you guys still asleep? I guess you are. Did that happen because I switched forms, or did something happen? What? Sorry guys, I'm a bit confused. I very rarely play Equinox, and she's one of those frames that can be a real challenge to get a hang on, or she can be a real challenge to get a hold of, because, you know, she has double the abilities, so you have to, you know, you have to manage what abilities are on what form and shit like that. So yeah, and go ahead and pop her 4. Didn't do much damage, but there's like. Equinox's augment is very simple. There's not much to say about it. It's just, you know, you keep the charge between forms, but because of that, she's much less of a one-trick pony now. I think you can activate her 4 and you can keep building damage, but you can go into knife form and start using CC if you need to, and yeah, it's really good. Very simple, but really effective. Again, not much else to say. I'm trying to find out a way to end this. But yeah, very good augment. It results in her being less of a one-trick pony, which is always appreciated. Frames that are typically one-trick ponies, I don't really enjoy all that often. Example would be Mesa. Mesa is one of those frames that, yeah, you can build her for other things, but it's not really viable to do so when you have something that is as godlike as Peacemaker is. Whereas frames like Excalibur, yeah, his 4 is definitely his selling point, but you can definitely build him for his 1 or his 2. Loki, you can build him for his invisibility, or his 4, you can build Ash for Shuriken and shit like that. So one-trick ponies are definitely frames that I tend to stay away from. And any attempt to fix one-trick ponies like this augment, again, it's an augment, it's a fucking band-aid. I know a lot of people hate that sort of thing, but it's a step in the right direction. Being able to keep that charge so that she can still do her main damage, or her main role as damage dealer, but still have access to her CC abilities, it's very, very good. So yeah, that is all the augments. Again, I don't really know how to end videos when I'm not scripting them, so here you go. Here, I'll do a T. I'll do a T, and we can end the video. So, see you guys.